Hollywood's latest weight loss era is written most clearly in the face. Bodies shrink, cheekbones sharpen, familiar softness fades, and every new photograph starts another argument. Some stars openly discussed injections. Others never confirmed them, yet still became part of the same conversation. These stories follow what happens when change arrives faster than audiences and perhaps biology can comfortably absorb it. Stay with us, because the final transformations reveal why a smaller number on the scale can create a much larger cost in public identity. Demi Moore has long been seen as a symbol of ageless beauty in Hollywood, a face that seemed to defy time and natural limits. That history is precisely why her recent changes have sparked such strong reactions. Viewers were not shocked by aging itself. They felt unsettled by how suddenly the familiar softness associated with her seemed to disappear. After a noticeable period of weight loss, Demi's face appeared firmer and more angular. The cheeks that once brought balance and warmth flattened, and the mid-face lost volume. Although her skin remains smooth, it appears less supported from beneath, creating a taut, almost mask-like effect rather than a naturally youthful one. What makes this shift particularly sensitive is the image Demi cultivated for decades: discipline, control, and perfection. When that control extends into extreme thinness later in life, the margin for error narrows. As collagen naturally declines with age, facial fat becomes structural support rather than excess. Remove it too quickly, and even the most famous faces can appear tense and unfamiliar. Public reaction has wavered between concern and skepticism. Speed changes everything. The camera records every shift. Public praise can hide private pressure. Facial volume is not simply excess. The familiar image may disappear first. Biology does not follow entertainment deadlines. The story feels personal because the pressure is familiar. Her transformation leaves the same uneasy question. After 50, does pursuing less weight sometimes remove the very softness that once made a face feel youthful? Christina Aguilera has lived through nearly every version of Hollywood's body standards. She was first marketed as a tiny teenage pop star, then criticized when her figure naturally changed, and later praised whenever she appeared thinner again. Her recent transformation restarted that cycle at full volume. Photographs showed a dramatically leaner frame and a face with sharper contours, less visible fullness through the cheeks, and a more sculpted overall appearance. Social media quickly attached one explanation: Ozempic. Yet Aguilera has never publicly confirmed using semaglutide or another GLP-1 medication. What she has discussed is the exhaustion of having strangers evaluate her body for decades. In interviews, she has made clear that other people's opinions no longer control how she sees herself. Still, the public reaction reveals the same uncomfortable pattern found throughout this story. When a woman gains weight, she is treated as careless. When she loses it, people assume medication, surgery, or deception. The face becomes evidence in a trial the celebrity never agreed to attend. Aguilera's appearance may have changed, but photographs cannot establish a prescription, a diagnosis, or the health of the person inside them. Speed changes everything. The camera records every shift. Public praise can hide private pressure. Concern and judgment often become difficult to separate. The story feels personal because the pressure is familiar. Her story is therefore not proof of Ozempic. It is proof that Hollywood still turns every visible change in a woman's body into a public investigation. June Shannon is one of the very few people whose body has endured extreme transformations under the constant gaze of the public over many years. More than a decade ago, she lost over 300 pounds through gastric surgery, a change so dramatic that it permanently altered her skin and connective tissue. Before her body could fully recover, life intervened. During a deep emotional crisis surrounding her daughter's cancer diagnosis, June regained nearly 130 pounds. The pressure, grief, and instability piled up, and instead of being addressed through long-term emotional support, nutrition, and healing, she turned to weight loss injections as a rapid escape. This time, the scale responded quickly once again, but her body no longer had the capacity to adapt. Skin that had already been stretched to its limits after surgery was forced to endure another sudden collapse. June's face made that damage visible. Brief fullness was followed by hollowness, sagging, and a deep fatigue etched into her features. This is the harsh biological reality of repeated extremes. Skin does not retain elasticity forever, and every cycle of loss and regain further weakens its resilience, especially after massive surgical weight loss. Speed changes everything. The camera records every shift. Public praise can hide private pressure. Facial volume is not simply excess. Concern and judgment often become difficult to separate. Her face became a record of repeated extremes, showing how grief, biology, and rapid solutions can collide when the body is asked to change again. Tori Spelling has lived her entire life under public scrutiny for more than 3 decades, making any change in her appearance especially sensitive. Audiences grew up watching her with soft features, rosy cheeks, and a warm, approachable presence on screen. That image became deeply embedded in collective memory. So, when her face began to change rapidly in her early 50s, the contrast was impossible to ignore. After the birth of her 5th child, Tori openly spoke about her long struggles with weight loss. When traditional methods failed, she turned to injectable weight loss medications, including Ozempic and later Mounjaro. The results on the scale were immediate. Her body became noticeably slimmer, but her face paid the highest price. Volume drained quickly from her cheeks and temples, leaving hollows that reshaped her entire expression. What once looked youthful and gentle now appeared sharper and more fatigued. The skin around her eyes and mouth seemed thinner and less supported, emphasizing every line. This is a classic pattern of rapid facial fat loss. When volume disappears too quickly, the face loses its natural lift, creating an appearance that feels gaunt and older rather than healthy. Perhaps the most unsettling detail came from Tori herself. Speed changes everything. The camera records every shift. Public praise can hide private pressure. Facial volume is not simply excess. The result was not simply a smaller body, but a visible break between the face audiences remembered and the person appearing before them now. Ariana Grande's transformation in recent years has left many fans feeling uneasy, not because she changed, but because it happened so quickly. For a long time, her image was defined by youthfulness, softness, and a doll-like fullness that perfectly matched her high, airy voice and delicate public persona. Yet within what seemed like a short span, that familiar gentleness appeared to fade. Her frame noticeably shrank, and her face followed. The cheeks that once gave her features balance flattened. Her jawline became sharper, and her eyes appeared larger yet more hollow, creating an overall impression that felt fragile rather than refined. At an age when many people still retain natural facial fullness, Ariana began to look unexpectedly drained, leaving the public confused. The speculation that followed was not driven by malice, but by a shared sense that something felt off. What makes the change especially striking is her age. Rapid facial volume loss is typically associated with later decades when collagen and elasticity naturally decline. Seeing it in someone so young highlights the intensity of modern beauty pressures. In an industry that rewards extreme thinness, even success offers no protection. Speed changes everything. The camera records every shift. Public praise can hide private pressure. Concern and judgment often become difficult to separate. The face becomes part of the public argument. Her story asks viewers to recognize concern without turning photographs into diagnosis, because public attention can become another pressure rather than a form of care. Jon Gosselin has reappeared in the media, not as the famous father of 8 children, but as a living testament to the dark side of rapid weight loss solutions. His experience with Ozempic was initially hailed as a miracle. In just about 2 short months, Jon lost more than 14 kilograms, a transformation so fast that it stunned the public and fueled the belief that this was an easy path to a total makeover. But as the initial excitement faded, the cameras began to capture a different reality. His face grew gaunt and exhausted. Deep wrinkles appeared around his eyes, and the skin on his neck sagged, losing its natural elasticity. Doctors refer to this phenomenon as rapid weight loss face, when facial fat disappears too quickly for the skin to adapt. Instead of looking younger, Jon appeared noticeably older, fragile, and drained of vitality. Things worsened when access to the medication was disrupted due to high costs, insurance barriers, or unstable supply. Without a long-term plan, the weight returned almost as quickly as it had vanished. His body endured a major shock like a balloon repeatedly stretched and deflated. He later publicly admitted his regret. Speed changes everything. The camera records every shift. Public praise can hide private pressure. Facial volume is not simply excess. No photograph can confirm a medical history. His experience shows why rapid results can feel miraculous at first, while leaving difficult questions about maintenance, cost, and the body's ability to adapt. Golnesa G.G. Garachadagi has long built her public image around unwavering confidence, a rebellious edge, and an unhidden sense of allure. But when her weight began to drop in an extreme and rapid way, the rhythm of the story quietly shifted from around 138 pounds down to nearly 110. Almost one-fifth of her body weight disappeared in a short period of time, so quickly that many barely noticed what was happening. Unlike some others, Gigi denied looking excessively thin or concerning, explaining that she always stays ahead of change through ongoing aesthetic maintenance. Dermal fillers, Botox, and facial cosmetic interventions gradually became a fixed part of her routine. Yet that very routine revealed something more troubling than the weight loss drug itself. Losing too much natural volume meant that medical aesthetics were no longer an enhancement, but a necessity simply to preserve a familiar appearance. Even with intervention, the transformation was hard to hide. Her face became sharper, more hollow, more angular, and lost the softness that once balanced her features. Many fans admitted they felt disconnected from this new look. Speed changes everything. The camera records every shift. Public praise can hide private pressure. Facial volume is not simply excess. The familiar image may disappear first. Concern and judgment often become difficult to separate. The face becomes part of the public argument. Her transformation exposes a cycle in which lost facial volume creates demand for cosmetic maintenance, turning one pursuit of control into another. Kelly Osbourne spent years living under the media's microscope, where even the smallest change in her body became a headline. After a long struggle with weight, addiction, and relentless public scrutiny, her recent transformation arrived quickly and dramatically. The rapid weight loss was met with applause, praised as discipline and determination. Yet the camera seemed to capture something else. Her face appeared sharper, leaner, and unexpectedly older than her age. As the weight disappeared, so did the familiar softness. Her cheeks hollowed, her jawline grew harder, and the skin around her eyes began to tell a story that went beyond numbers on a scale. Fans admired Kelly's effort, but many quietly wondered why a woman in her late 30s suddenly looked so fatigued. This is the familiar paradox of rapid weight loss. The body may shrink, but the face doesn't always adapt in time. Kelly has been open about reclaiming control over her life, and that honesty deserves respect. Still, her new appearance became a quiet reminder that being thin doesn't automatically mean being healthy or youthful. Facial fat isn't a flaw. It's structural support, especially as natural collagen declines with age. Speed changes everything. The camera records every shift. Public praise can hide private pressure. Facial volume is not simply excess. Concern and judgment often become difficult to separate. Kelly's journey captures the central paradox of this era. The body becomes smaller, while the face may lose the softness audiences once associated with vitality. These transformations are not identical, and photographs cannot tell us everything about medication, health, or private choices. But together they reveal an industry that rewards speed and then criticizes the visible consequences. Facial volume, elasticity, and identity cannot always follow a rapidly changing body. Which story surprised you most? Share your thoughts respectfully and subscribe to Hollywood Unseen for more careful looks at the pressures hiding behind Hollywood's most talked about transformations.